So, Danny and the Pips, I have a question.
Yeah.
All right, but now, first of all, I have an analogy. And that is when you try to explain something to a guy and you're like, this is how I'm feeling, blah, 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 because you did this. Men, and I guess even for that matter, women never go, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, now I see your point. Yeah, I get your angle. I mean, they won't say, oh, I was wrong. You know, I get it. I understand that. I get your... You end up arguing with somebody if you try to explain how you feel, I think.
All right.
So what happened was...
Yeah, I was waiting on this.
And the subject matter doesn't really matter. But Builder Bob had told somebody something that I had told him in confidence.
Right.
Okay?
All right.
And so he told me, he goes, oh, by the way, I mentioned to so-and-so this and this. And I said, well, why would you do that? I told you not to mention anything and that just to say that we didn't work out and that was fine. And, you know, we went our separate ways and we're friends. And he's like, well, I didn't know that would upset you. I said, well, yeah, because we talked about it before you went there. And we said that this is what you're going to say. And I was going to say this and that was cool. And he's like, well, you know, and then they get defensive.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
you know how people.
Yeah, I'm just formulating my point of view on this as you go.
Okay. So then they get defensive, like, well, geez, I didn't know I did anything wrong. Blah, 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 going crazy. So then he calls me back. This is all last night. He calls me back while I'm walking.
You take your cell phone with you while you walk?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to call 911 and stuff, right? I never thought about that.
Yeah, and I carry it like it's a taser gun
Why don't you get a taser gun?
because that's too much stuff to hold.
Clip them on. Plus, somebody will just take a taser gun from a girl and zap the crap out of her.
Yeah, I thought that too. Anyway, and so he calls me back and goes, look, I thought about it, and if I upset you, then I'm really sorry. So I say, why do people say the word if and then try to apologize? And he's like, Jesus Christ, I can't even apologize right. I'm like, no, here's the thing, Builder Bob. When you say the word if, that's not acknowledging that you did this. It's if this happened.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You're crazy.
No,
You're crazy.
If you say the word if, that is not
How do you say, I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry?
like that.
But he's not quite sure what he's apologizing for. First of all, you broke up and have no right to tell him what to tell anyone.
Well, but my whole point is if somebody says the word if and followed by an apology, it doesn't count because it's not really acknowledging what they did. They're saying, well, if this happened, if you feel this way, then
my God.
No, I'm right.
It's semantics. It's nothing.
It is something.
It's nothing.
Something.
You're making some.
No,
you're making something out of nothing.
No, I'm not.
Just because you're argumentative.
No, that is not true. I am stubborn. Yes, I agree. But when you add the word if, then that crosses out the apology.
Okay, on the few occasions I have had to apologize on the radio.
Yes.
Let's say people have sent a couple angry letters because of something I said about midgets, although I don't remember what it was.
Right.
And if I was told to apologize, I would say this. Hey, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I'm really sorry. I meant nothing by it.
Right. And
that would be a sincere apology.
See,
and
to
you
me, it
just
wouldn't. It
well,
wouldn't.
who cares to you?
No,
to him, it was sincere.
But see, I would apologize the same way if I didn't really mean it. If I didn't really feel bad about midgets because I don't really know what happened.
Right.
Then I'd say, if I pissed you off, I'm sorry. But if I really hurt somebody's feelings and he knew he did and he said, I thought about it and you were right. And
but he just said, I thought about it and you were right. What do you want?
That was the acknowledgement. But if I made you feel that way.
All right. He said, I've done this.
Right. And so
then he said, if you're mad, sorry.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yes, it means
You're
nothing.
insane.
I'll ask the Pips.
Go ahead.
Pip?
You're insane.
Other Pip?
I think this is really his fault because he should have known better. He should have just apologized and walked away.
He should have known that she's crazy and said something different.
I do this to my wife all the time. I go, you know what? I'm really sorry. I understand what you're saying when I have no idea what she meant, but it's easier to stop the argument.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was my first point before she got to her insanity.
Right.
That my first point was when we say when she didn't like the way things were happening, we don't really care how you feel.
Right. Just say sorry, and that's fine. I'll take that.
But what is the difference if we don't really care? It's insincere anyway.
Because the word if means if this happened, even though I've told him it's happened, even though I've told him how I feel, well, if.
You're
not
impossible
if,
to live with.
Not if, but because. Not if, but because. That's
what you want to stand on. If, not because.
No,
or because, not
I want to
if.
stand on because I did this, I am sorry. Not if I...
Is that the way he said it? Did he say, if?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
He
You're
did it-
lying now.
No, he did it in a grandiose way. Like, well, if I did something like that,
What? And then he said the words, I'm sorry.
then I'm
So
sorry.
if you can count the word because better than the word if, how can you not count the 3 words, I'm sorry? Or 2
because
words and a half
because
words.
it cancels out when you say if, because that's not acknowledging how I felt. That's not acknowledging that my feelings were true, because if they're iffy.
You're a party.
Yeah, you're a party. There's a part very busy.
No, it's
Very
just
busy.
The deal is, we have no idea when you're pissed off half the time. More than half the time. Probably 3/4 of the time, girls are mad way before we ever know that you're mad.
Well, I agree with that.
So then, by the time he had no idea you were mad, he had no idea he did anything wrong, and then when he realized you were wrong, he came back and said, well, if that made you mad,
Sorry.
Okay, and I would understand that if I was being silent and I didn't explain to him how I was feeling and I was doing the silent treatment thing.
It even sounds weird.
And if I was doing the silent treatment thing and he went, wow, if that made you mad, I'm really sorry.
Perfect.
Right. If I was doing silent treatment. But because I told him how I felt, I told him the issue, and he still said, well, if you felt that way, not if I felt that way, I did feel that way because I told you.
But he didn't feel that way and said if as a matter of semantics and didn't care. He was just saying he's sorry.
If was not acknowledging it. It was iffy.
Now he said iffy?
I know!
And the last time he threw his hands up in the air?
If you were still my girlfriend, I'd care.
Right. If you weren't insane, I'd say something
it's not,
different.
I know somebody agrees with me.
Oh, I'm sure a billion people agree with you.
I agree
Jack
with you
does.
because all he was doing was trying to not be at fault. The
Right,
ifs made it so
and
that-
just like,
And-
appease me.
Right, and anybody who knows Jamie knows you have to accept fault, and that way she will be happy.
And then
at
I'll
But
the
do
be
you
happy.
hear that? That he's calling you crazy. Anybody that knows Jamie knows you have to do this.
No.
Anybody that knows me does whatever they want.
No, if you know me and if you screwed up, then acknowledge that you screwed up. Not if you screwed up. You did screw up.
Why don't you count the words I'm sorry as much as you count the words if?
Because it's not, it's putting no, because then the words I'm sorry have no validity. Because you don't, if, the word if doesn't acknowledge how I truly felt.
All right,
And I've explained how I felt, and it's not an if you felt that way. No, I've told you how I
If there
feel.
were a vocabulary scale and you could put each word
What
on
does the word
scale,
if mean?
In that sense,
If.
I have done something wrong, I'm sorry for it.
Right, and when somebody tells you, so he has the knowledge. That's the word if means I don't have the knowledge.
And what do the words I'm sorry mean?
No. But if
Wait.
no, you wait.
You wait.
Because the word stupid.
You shut up.
Oh yeah, shut up. The word if means you don't have knowledge.
Okay, and the words I'm sorry, what do they mean?
They mean I am sorry if I don't have really any knowledge if there was a problem. I'm not sure there's a problem.
He's not sure what the hell you're up
Yes,
to.
he is. I told him exactly what
Jack
the
just
deal
said
was.
anybody who knows Jamie
Right.
has to do
Acknowledge
this.
the
He
problem.
says you're insane
No,
and I say
no.
you're insane.
So here's what should have happened was he should have said, wow, I screwed up. I promised you I wouldn't say anything, and yet I did. That really sucked. I'm really sorry I did that to you. Not if I did that to you,
I'll tell
but
you-
that I did that to you.
I'll tell you what should have happened. And should happen with any guy.
I should be clubbed like a baby seal. Go ahead, bring it.
Too good for you.
Oh, now you're just an asswipe or whatever the FCC will let me say.
Here's what should have happened. He and any other man should have listened to this show and
So then we ended our friendship based on the word if. Because,
well, can I do something before I end my friendship?
yes,
I've been, I obsess.
Yes.
And I would stay up all night about this. And it bothered me that there was a whole song to play before I got a chance to do it. I mean this sincerely, Jack. Even though I'm going to do it twice for the point of the show, I mean it sincerely. Right before we went to the break, I made a cheap joke at your expense.
Oh.
And if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
right.
Now, Jack, at the break, I went for a mean joke at your expense. I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry.
But the difference.
the second one sounds weird.
I know what it is.
Well,
I know
first
what
of all,
it is.
you have to accept
I know
my
what it is.
apology.
I know what it is.
What?
You don't have the knowledge whether it hurt his feelings or not. Builder Bob had the knowledge that he hurt my feelings.
No, it's a mean thing. I would assume I hurt
that
your
is-
feelings.
No, that is the difference. That is the difference. But he didn't tell you. So the word if is you don't know if you hurt his feelings or not. So you have still questions. You don't know if you hurt his
So
feelings
wait a
or
minute.
not.
Do you accept my apology to Jack?
Well, I don't
I'm
know because
okay
I
with the
don't.
word
I don't.
if?
I don't know if you hurt his feelings or not.
Right, it'd be different if I said, Danny, you
Hurt my feelings, and then you said, "Well, if I hurt your feelings."
Well, listen to the sentence. Go ahead and say I hurt your feelings.
You hurt my feelings.
I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry.
Perfect. You acknowledge
no,
what he said.
Now listen to it again. Say I hurt your feelings.
I hurt your. hurt my
Hey, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
Right, not
It's
acknowledging.
nothing.
Yes, it is.
It's nothing.
Well, guess what? The dictionary says it is.
Well, see, the dictionary is wrong. No, it is.
No, it's not.
Watch, I'll prove it to you. Go ahead and use your point, and then let me have mine.
It says basically what it has is if it's with question, with doubt. If, like I told you.
Right. Okay, if you look up the
It's not
word,
having any
but
knowledge.
change to popular vernacular, if you look up the word brother, it's going to say somebody related with the same mom and dad. But people say, hey, brother, and don't mean they're physically related.
Thus slang. And that would be in your slang part. They probably put it in a definition to use slang.
But then if it's slang and still popular vernacular, then it's acceptable, right?
Well, no, because for example, they say that you could say, hey, if you need any help, let me know. Thus, the if is like, huh? But it's showing that you don't know if they need help
You know
or
what
not.
it is? It's then you don't need to say anything. You just need to say, I'm sorry. If a person is trapped under a car, you would never say, if you're in need of assistance, let me help you.
Right.
But
That's my whole point, is that Builder Bob had the knowledge that he pissed me off and that he screwed up and he did something that he promised he wouldn't do. And so for him to say, if I did this and if you were upset about it, then that is not A, acknowledging what he did, and B, not acknowledging how I felt. It
But
was
why
just,
aren't you acknowledging how he feels? He feels sorry.
he doesn't though, because he's not sure what he did. It's with what's the word I'm looking for?
But he even-
doubt.
he even
his
said-
apology is based on doubt. And by the way, I watched the pussification of man just unfold in this room because your homo friend Stench,
Yeah.
who agreed in here and said you're crazy and all that
Right.
crap. After you left and went off the air, then all of a sudden he's like, I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying. I absolutely understand what you're saying. I just can't.
He said he didn't even mean the apology, and that's why guys add the word if, is because they don't mean they're sorry, because they just want you to shut the hell up. So they're like, hey, look, if you're pissed off, sorry.
Well, I've been with you 5 years, and every man that you have been with is sorry almost all the time.
And they should be.
Yes, they should be.
Yes, but that's a whole different Oprah. I'm
No,
not
but
even
I
talking
mean,
about that.
I mean that people are in a position to apologize to you far more frequently than I think they should be.
Well, I don't, because I think that,
Everything
that's
bothers
a-
you.
Well, that's a whole different Oprah. No, that's a whole different Oprah. What he did was wrong.
That isn't a whole different open.
Yeah, that's a different subject. We can talk about that later. But the point is, right now, is that he did something that we promised each other that he wouldn't.
Right.
And then he still didn't acknowledge it and say, I did this, I'm sorry, that's the end of the sentence. He instead said, if, and I go, what do you mean if? I just told you that you did that. There's no if. There's no doubt to this.
To which he said what I said, you don't even like the way I apologize.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I go, no, you're right. I don't like how you apologize right now, because when you're saying if, and then we got a whole fight about if, I'm like, you're not even acknowledging what you did. And he's like, I can't take this anymore. I'm like, yeah, me either, because if you can't take this anymore.
But you're assuming he meant something by it. Why do you have to assume he meant something by it
Because
rather than
he
just...
also wanted to fight, by the way. He didn't just go, oh, all right, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, you did tell me how you felt, and so I'm sorry. He wanted to be just as hard-headed and not play that game. He was like, I can't believe it, if, and he was going into, like, some weird personality.
See, I absolutely understand what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying. I just don't understand why you discount the words I'm sorry more than you count the word if.
Because it's still with doubt, and there was no doubt because I told him exactly how I felt.
I don't think he had doubt. I think he used a word you don't like.
No, and then...
I think he was sorry.
And by the way, then he could have just fixed it, right? It's easy, okay? So the chick flips out that you go if. Then he could have gone, okay, all right, so you told me that you're upset. I'm really sorry I upset you. We can stop the fight. But no, he kept the if word going.
Because he felt strongly about it, and now you're discounting how he feels.
Well, if he felt strongly about it...
Yeah?
No, that's the thing. It's with doubt, and that's what the dictionary says, and that's how it was said to me. If I don't have knowledge of this, then I guess I'm sorry.
Oh, he didn't say the word guess. You're adding
No,
now.
but I'm adding because that refers back to the if.
Okay. I
doesn't
think
really
we're fighting about
guess
the
sorry
same
means.
thing. We've done this before. I agree with you specifically on vocabulary that the word if implies doubt.
Right. And
But
do you also agree that the guy could have ended the fight right there by going, okay, just sorry then?
not as much as I agree that you could have stopped the fight by saying, oh, I get what you mean.
No,
accept
because
your
I
apology."
don't, because he's wrong.
But you're telling him that he should just
is
do it.
wrong.
But you're saying he could have just done this. Why should he? He didn't feel that way.
Well, because he's wrong, and he did have the knowledge of how I felt, and he did have the knowledge of what he did. Not if. he did it, or if I felt this way, he had the knowledge.
But you're saying he should have done whatever it took to make you happy, not go by his feelings.
If he would have really thought about the sentence that he said, he would know that he was saying it with doubt. And just as Stench said, dude, he was just going, well, hey, if it pissed you off, whatever, sorry.
Well, I wasn't there. I don't know. He seems like a really nice boy to me and was probably sorry.
Oh, please. He's the most stubborn.
He seems really nice, and it seems like you were beating him up over 2 letters.
Well, I was beating him up because if he did it, then I guess he's sorry. Not guess. He didn't say guess. He just said sorry. I don't know. I'm exhausted. I'm sweating.
This is fun.
7.
All right. So the question is, if a man knows he's upset you and that he broke your trust and you told him and then he uses, if I did this, I'm sorry, do you accept that apology? That's the question.
I think you accept any sincere apology.
I don't think it's...
You know what? You know what's really weird?
What?
The phones are as packed as if we had said kill all blonde children.
Well, because
I can't believe this is a radio show and it's smoking.
I think my sisters understand me. I'm not sure, but
Nobody understands
And then-
you, Jamie.
and then because we're both so stubborn, it doesn't. I'll just take this one.
I think we should.
Here's Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
We didn't do first calls of the day.
Ah, Jeezo, Pizzo.
Remember to go
ahead.
back to her because she now is the last caller.
Okay, all right. Jack.
The first call of the day with Jamie and
Would
Danny.
not back down.
Good. Because I'm mad at you.
And then, so we totally just blew our friendship
in the
over it.
bud, we never relax.
I can't stop talking.
It's everlasting.
No, me either.
Let's see the seatbelt fasten, trunk rattling like 2 midgets in the back seat rasping.
Wow.
This is a song I like. This is Justin Timberlake and Nelly.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Add one more thing to it. We won't actually have to take the first call of the day.
That song reminds me when I had
That's
that
a
one
great song.
boyfriend and I'd strip for him.
Wow, that's nice. But that song's brand new.
I know. It just reminds me of it. I don't know why. It does. It totally does.
Ah. Yeah, that song reminds me of my old girlfriend.
Why is that? Wait, what is the eyeballs? What?
Don't be crazy and lame on the same show.
What do you mean?
How can a brand new song remind you of stripping for your old boyfriend?
Because a new... I don't want to argue about something else.
Well, if you're stupid, then I'm sorry.
A new song can't remind you of the past?
Not usually.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if the song goes like this, ooh, I'm interested in the War of 1812.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The Way We Were can't be used.
Huh?
That song, The Way We Were.
It's an old song.
But if it was brand new, right now, I can't think of the past
It
based
isn't.
on your... Oh!
If it was a sentimental song about, ooh, fancy prance broke my heart. Yes, that could
Who's
remind me.
Yeah.
Fancy Prance?
Well,
Don't just pick his pronunciation to get out of being a retard.
I can't... Nicole?
Yes.
Hi.
There should be a prison for you.
Oh, my God. They will argue about anything.
Yeah, look at us be weirdos.
Men will not back down to anything. You can explain it to them, and they will never go, oh, yeah, I see your point.
It's because you're a girl.
I know.
Wait, I agree. It is because you're a girl.
Oh, don't be like that now,
I
ass.
totally agree.
All right, so, Nicole, what do you think about the if thing?
I totally agree with you. The only problem is every woman in the world is going to agree with you because we all expect to have our apologies our way. And no man understands that.
But I even told him how to apologize.
Yes, you
No matter how
did.
many times you tell them, I go through it with my own husband. Doesn't matter how many times you tell them.
But I mean, here's the bottom line. So, us being right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. Now it's just even cost us our whole friendship.
Right, that's the big difference between you and Nicole. She goes through this with her husband all the time and is still married.
I have a cat that I argue with.
Yeah, I know, it's hot.
And my cat, by the way, knows it's wrong.
Your cat's just sorry.
Right. He
Right.
never says if.
Okay, if you forgot to make her the first call of the day and if you forgot to give
hell,
her things,
I did.
I apologize to her.
Nicole, Nicole, I totally just screwed up.
This isn't Nicole.
I know I'm not talking to you.
Oh, if you're continuing to screw up.
No, I would say, oh my gosh, Nicole, I just screwed up. I forgot to give you first thing, so call Monica back. Jessica, I don't know. Help me.
Good morning, Jamie and
The
Danny.
way we were right now.
You know what the problem is? Ever since the fight off the air where no, you shut up, no, you shut up, no, you shut up, I'm much more comfortable watching you just get mad and saying, no, you shut up.
I know, but I'm like sweating and I'm angry. And my hair is parting right here.
Well, hey, if this is upsetting you and you're getting all crazy,
Yeah.
I don't care. This is so fun.
But I'm telling you, Jessica.
Yes.
Hi.
Guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello. Completely agree with you, Jamie, of
Love
course,
you.
being the female.
It's
You know-
not a female thing. It's
That's
right.
2 in a row of your sisters, baby.
You know what? It's a sentence.
It's a respect thing.
It's a grammar issue.
I thought it was a respect thing and a girl thing. There's a lot of things.
Listen, when you take the time and try to be reasonable and try to
That's just funny to
Wait,
me.
listen to her.
listen, and you want the respect of acknowledgement, and that little word does, that if word negates everything behind it completely, and it's like a slap in the face because it's like the person is completely not listening to you,
Yep.
doesn't care,
Yep.
and it's just...
She's right. She is
no,
right.
she's not.
Yes, she
Because
is.
if you're playing the semantics game and everything's right, you're telling me if is like a slap in the face. Let me come there and slap you right in the face,
Oh,
and I will
don't be
show you
retarded.
a huge. No,
Just listen to what she's saying.
she said it's like a slap in the face. Is
Can't
it?
take it, Jessica.
Is it like a slap in the face?
This is why I'm going to be a lesbian.
Wow. You know what? When he said the word if, it was like setting fire to my house. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Honey, darling,
See how they are?
darling.
Hey, I'm the only one saying this. How many of me do you see?
No, but what I'm saying is you're the typical guy that just starts saying oblivious, retarded things.
And doesn't know what he's
Yeah.
doing. It's just about disrespect, I think.
You're right.
And
It's
about-
exactly like a slap in the face. There's a special shelter for women that have been said if to.
Well, yeah, I know that. Unfortunately, it's not one of those. But
You had to go with the abuse.
Yeah. You know what? You can get food there and be well taken
Right.
care of.
And guess what
people
those
will
guys
hold
say?
you in their arms and
And-
say, I'm sorry he said if.
No, and guess what those guys say? If I hurt you, I didn't mean to because I loved you.
Right.
Yeah, well, they're saying if they know that they hurt him, but guess what? They're whatever big word here, their apology.
Well, if this young lady is right and I smack a girl right in the face, I'm pretty positive it hurt her feelings. And I'm still going to say, whoa, I was way out of line. If I hurt you, I'm sorry.
Everybody knows what I mean, and I'm right.
I know what you mean.
Joe,
Yes.
what would you like to talk about?
First of all, I can't believe I actually understand everything you're talking about today.
Thank you,
Something's
Joe.
wrong with me. By saying if, it's not that he's not apologizing, he's not admitting what he did in the first place.
Right, he's apologizing that out there, but
He's
The if
apologizing.
The if is saying, hey, I'm not really going to cop to what I did by saying if.
thank you, I love you, and you're a boy. He's a boy.
Well, the
And
two women said it's a girl thing,
But he's
and you
a
disagreed
boy.
with
No,
them.
but he's a boy and he understands, and I love you, Joe.
And then your Nelly Justin Timberlake song, the beginning of the song sounds just like Back in Black by AC/DC, which is a huge strip of song.
Do you remember when you used to strip to AC/DC? This is your boy. That's your boy.
Joe,
There you go.
Just stop.
She's
Why
back
didn't you
in
stop?
black. Whoa. What?
I was just thinking.
You're frozen.
No, I was just thinking I'm not going to say anything.
What about?
And then just the whole thing, because I was thinking in my head, wow, people ruin their lives over being stubborn. And then I remember we did the whole show about, people ruining their lives over being stubborn. And I guess, or being right, I mean, I'm hurt.
Well, if it's important to you, I don't think you can ruin your life over being right. Yeah, wait, no, I take that back. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
I don't know. I don't care anymore.
Well, that's
I don't have a reason to live.
That's a bad thing, seeing as how the phones are packed with people who understand you.
Hi, Meg.
You have to tough this out. Hi, Meg.
If I see the ones that say she's being unreasonable and she's irrational, she's psychotic, I don't even talk to them.
I so agree
That
with
woman.
you, Jamie, about this. The same thing happened to me. I had a friend. What it is the apology lacks sincerity.
True that.
Yep.
I had a friend who said something to me that was really hurtful, and I ended the friendship. She got very defensive, and then weeks later sends me an apology saying, I was so wrong. It was all my fault, and then took it away by saying, I now perceive how you must have seen it. She just took it away after saying that.
Okay, I'm trying to understand because I want to be with you because you're on my team. Okay, so
She said something to me that was very hurtful.
Okay.
And when I let her know, she got very defensive.
Right, they always do when they're wrong.
And I ended the friendship.
Okay.
Weeks later, I get an apology.
She said it was my fault. I said these words.
Well,
all
did you
my
get an
fault.
apology or not?
She sends me an apology saying, it was all my fault. I'm so sorry. I now perceive how you must have heard it.
But now you're saying you got an apology, so you perceived it as an apology.
No, she said she was sorry, but she took
But
it
wait,
back.
the only thing, Meg, and I swear to God, I'm trying to back you. I really am because you're my people. So, but the only thing is that what she's saying is I've been thinking about it, and now I understand that I'm wrong.
She didn't say she was wrong. She's saying that I'm wrong, that I heard her wrong.
Really? Now, wait a second. Where were those words in the apology? Because here's what you're telling me. That you got an apology. So first of all, you take it as an apology because that's how you describe it. And then you say, she said, I am sorry. Not if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I am sorry, and get what you were feeling.
But the only problem is, Meg, is that she says I did this is wrong. I know what you're saying. She's saying that
Much like I know what you're
She
saying.
didn't really mean it, but it was something that was very blatant. She did mean it. She meant to say it. She said it for self-serving reasons.
I think you're going to have to tell us what she said if we're going to move on.
But
That's a whole lot of Oprah.
I'm with you on that one.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so she said
She wasn't saying she was wrong. She was saying that I misunderstood her. She was only saying she was sorry.
she was saying that her words were still okay to say.
I
Right.
just heard her
But-
wrong.
That Meg just heard her wrong.
But everybody's now leaving the words I'm sorry out of the story.
I think what Meg's saying is if she meant it, she should have said, I should have never said those words.
Exactly.
I'm really sorry.
But we don't know what she said, so
But-
we
but
can't really
instead
judge.
But she took it back at the end. If she had just said the first part, then that would have been an apology. But she took it back by saying...
But she said instead, I understand how you could take this wrong, that I said these words, blah, blah, blah. Saying, I'm still okay with my words.
Right. But I'm sorry your feelings are hurt.
Exactly.
Right.
But she's
Okay.
done this to other people, and she'll never learn. And she just continues to go on and hurt people. She will never own
Okay.
up to the fact that what she said was hurtful.
Right.
No, she said what she said was hurtful. She just stands by it.
I guess this is what you have to decide, Meg, and this is a different Oprah. Is it worth losing the friendship?
It was so hurtful that I ended the friendship.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, because I've seen her hurt other people. And I
No. But I mean, are you okay with ending the friendship?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the bottom line. So,
Right. And you're not okay with it, I don't think, Jamie.
No, I'm sad that Builder
Right.
Bob and I'm also sad that we're both so hard-headed and so stubborn that neither one of us will give.
Okay, but
And that we'll end our friendship based on stubbornness.
well, but you're admitting some culpability here. You're saying that
Well,
you did
I
this out of
always
stubbornness.
admit when I'm wrong.
So you're admitting it now.
I'm admitting that I have the ability to give, and so does he, but he won't, and
you
I'm
won't.
not.
So would you say that this then is 50-50?
No, not when it comes to the F word.
No, just the fight in general. That you could have just said, well, he meant it.
No,
and didn't.
because if you dissect the fight, it's actually based on his actions.
So it's his fault.
Yeah, he did it. He went and told something that I
Right,
promised
and
not
I'm
to.
against him for that.
Right.
Because I believe I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so if you dissect the thing, yeah, I mean, it's still his fault. Anyway,
But wait
Meg,
a
back
second.
to you.
Wait a second.
What?
If I know what you're talking about.
No, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something else. Okay. You know that one. That one's my fault, but the other one's not. This one you don't know.
Between you and Meg not telling me what happened, I'm really having a difficult time making any
Meg?
judgment except you guys aren't talkative.
Meet Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, now, what the lady's actually saying is at the time, she didn't understand how it was hurtful, and she's just admitting that now that she understands that it was hurtful, not that it wasn't. She's just saying the reason she argued at the time is she didn't realize how it could have been hurtful, and she's just acknowledging that now she understands how it was hurtful.
Wow, that's good.
Right, that's
hey,
exactly
Meg, that
right.
one's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
That one's he's right.
He is right.
Joe's always right.
Now Joe's a girl.
7.
If you loved me, you wouldn't say that. Oh my God, where is the buttons? There they are. All right, so here's the thing that we were kind of discussing off the air, and I have to support my friend Meg. I have to.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
Because here's what Meg was going for, I believe. I believe that Meg was wanting a reason to get out of that friendship no matter what.
Well, if she wanted to, she found one.
And I think she needed to hold on to that even after the chick wrote her an apology letter. She still needed to be mad because for whatever.
So basically you're saying that she's crazy and just held on to something for no reason.
No, I didn't say that at all. I said she
Actually,
wanted.
you did say that.
I said she wanted a reason to be out of it.
Right. So she didn't accept a real apology.
I didn't, but I never said that, right?
Right.
Okay. Bring it, bitch. Here's Andy. Hi, Andy.
I support you, Meg. If we're just going to reverse roles for no reason.
Andy?
Hey, Jamie. Hey, Danny.
What's up, Andy?
Nothing. Let me tell you, I've dated women like Jamie.
No, you haven't.
That's a compliment, by the way.
I understand exactly where Builder Bob is coming from because what he's saying is, my intention was not to hurt you.
Right.
But sometimes you just say, I'm hurt, and you have to understand that, which makes no sense to most rational people. So I didn't intend to hurt you, but if you are hurt...
No, no. You can't say if you are because I had said you hurt me.
Oh, exactly, but I don't understand how you're hurt by what
Well, that's a different word, isn't it? I don't understand
Oh,
what
my
I did to
God.
hurt you, but I understand that you are hurt, and I'm sorry.
You know, Andy, if you'd have called up here and said, you know, Jamie, I've shot women like you, I would understand much more than you believing you've dated women like Jamie.
like her. But this is it the letter of the law or the spirit of the law? Because let me tell you, even had he said, I'm sorry, you are so upset that you're going to say, well, if you're sorry, you shouldn't have done it. And I could have bet money on Friday that you guys were going to fight because the way you were talking about fancy pants.
Hey, did you know that brand new... What was it, Jack? What makes Jamie think of her old boyfriend?
West Coast shorties, do your thing.
Yeah, makes me think of fancy pants right there.
Don't talk about him because then he won't talk to me anymore.
You don't want to talk to him anymore, remember?
I don't want. Please.
You know what? She needs to come with a handbook.
Don't talk about him because he won't talk to me if we do.
Good.
No, shh.
You know, I once dated a guy like Fancy Pants.
I mean it.
You've given out his home phone number on the air.
I know, but times are different.
Yeah, you're alone.
I need this to be okay. Don't shh.
Date the guy with the piercing blue eyes. I think that'd be fun. Ruin a guy's life who actually works in the building. That'd be fun.
Jennifer. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to say that I do that all the time. Like, I say if all the time.
I say like all the time. Like if I hurt your feelings?
No, like, I do that all, like, when my mom says if I did something.
Well, you guys are about the same age, so it makes sense.
Yeah. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 14.
Yeah, see? That's what it is. It's just a young kid thing.
Yeah, no, because you don't want the blame put on you.
See?
Yeah.
It's the youngins. They do it.
If you were older, I'd call you names.
Because you don't want them to think you did anything wrong.
See, it's just those young kids. That's why they say if, because they don't want to acknowledge
Right.
they did something wrong.
Yeah.
If my mom would just let me cut,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to figure out the new math.
What?
I don't know. It's an old guy thing.
What was that?
I can't do my daughter's third grade homework.
I know, but what about cutting in line? What?
If her mom would let her cut, school.
Ditch.
Ditch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand cut. I thought you were like cutting line.
I think it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah, West Coast shorties.
West Coast shorties reminds me of stripping for my ex-boyfriend. Yeah,
Don't talk about them.
I didn't say who. There's a lot of ex-boyfriends.
Do you notice a pattern there?
We all have exes in our lives.
Yeah, not this morning.
I just have an ex-friendship, and I'm okay with it. Trust me. Vicky.
Jamie.
Because I've moved back.
Right.
Wait, what? I moved on? No, I've moved back. Yeah. Here's Vicky. Go ahead. Hi.
Well, Jamie, I was in the same position. You know, I like Builder Bob. Someone told me something. I blurted it out. And after I apologized, I didn't say if. I said but. And that sparked a whole different kind of argument.
Oh, please.
So how did you use but in the sentence?
I didn't say
Oh, I know what she did. I know. Wait. Okay, so here's the thing. You're like an ex-boyfriend, which is you will say you're sorry, but then you'll validate what your actions by saying, but listen, the only reason why I did it.
Well, exactly. I have to justify why I said it.
See, yeah. I hate that person, too.
So what you're saying is he said something like, you're a raving lunatic, but I'm sorry anyway. Is that what you mean?
No, all right, let's say.
Danny, you're giving me too much credit.
Right, okay, so he burnt
That doesn't
down,
usually happen.
He burnt down my house,
Right.
okay? I'm really sorry I burnt down your house, but look, you used to complain about the house all the time anyway.
Exactly. And like I was saying, don't become a lesbian.
Cool.
You're going to be too hard-headed women.
Well.
You know, it doesn't work.
It seems like they just listen better.
I don't know. It seems like the guy who burnt your house down totally listened to you complain.
No, but that's what I'm saying is you give validity to your actions, so the apology doesn't count. Well, you've always complained about your house anyway, so that's why I did it. So then it takes away the apology.
We're taking if you feel this way, I'm sorry.
No, we're adding
and
a but.
Arson.
No.
But is different than if.
But is different from
Right.
if.
I was doing an extreme example so you would see what it was.
Everything you do is an extreme example.
It's like cutting. What?
But is an addendum to the argument.
Right. A but is.
Okay, we all agree.
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
agree. We all agree.
Let's talk about Big Fat Fiance. That was a tragedy yesterday. So was the Little People Midget Show.
Not the tragedy that the big fat stupid wedding was.
I can't believe I watched any of it.
I liked it.
I watched both of them because our boss came into our office and said it's the finale of the show. Maybe you guys should watch.
I know.
So I watched. It was the meanest thing I ever saw in my whole life.
You know what's really weird is like a lot of you are just now starting out your day, and I'm exhausted.
Well, if you're tired,
I swear
I'm
to
sorry.
see, like I can't talk to you because now you're just on my nerves.
Oh, and today should be different than any other day.
Shelly, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to my world.
Jamie and Danny, I love you guys.
Hi. Well, we love you.
Anyway, I just have to tell you, Jamie, with guys these days, you should be happy you even got an apology. Oh, my gosh. Can I have Builder Bob? Because
yes,
if he's so... Yay! No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
But here,
Oh,
I'll tell you something, Shelly, real quick. He's very handsome, young, gainfully employed, bright, but he has this tendency to say the word if every now and again. So you probably don't
like
want
the
him.
Well,
14-year-old.
if is just fine with me.
Yeah, well, if he's available, you can have him.
You can. He's right there on the 134. His little yellow light is shining.
If you see the hot guy in the orange vest pull over, he's single.
And girls can relate to this one too. You know when the boys, they won't give in and you're so frustrated that you're like seeing that color they call red.
Wow.
And you're just so frustrated because you're just like, oh my God, just give in. And they won't. And so then you feel like, I don't know, you're so frustrated and your back's against the wall. So then you just start spewing. And I mean like,
You went small wiener, didn't you?
I didn't do small wiener because that he would know isn't true.
Oh.
I went with like things that were iffy, like this, that, the. I mean, like I went to places that there are no apologies on this earth for.
With or without the word if, there's just no I'm sorry on this.
No. The places I went, no man has ever gone before.
Wow.
But and then you're like, oh God, but you're just so frustrated and you have to say those things because you don't know what else to do because he won't back down. And then you just start saying all this crap.
I actually feel bad for you.
Why?
Because on the occasions that I have done that, because What used to happen with Gretchen and I was I'd be right, and I would get so mad and do such crazy and hateful things that I would become wrong. And
that's what happened.
And I would feel terrible about it. So I'm assuming you feel bad.
I do feel bad because I just was like, oh my God, I was so frustrated. You know, that I just like, you've all done it too, though. What you just said.
Yeah.
Pip?
No.
Oh, liar. You call your wife a whore.
I mean, but nothing that couldn't be like.
Yeah, but we all call our wives whores.
Yeah.
That's not.
I've said really mean things in a fight before, but I don't think I've ever gone to the point of no return. Well, with one of them. With one of them, I have. But that's the person I'm not with anymore.
You know what? Gretchen went to the point of no return, and I think I just take it differently. Gretchen said the meanest thing anyone has ever said to me, and my first reaction was, awesome. That's the meanest thing I ever heard.
About the partridge thing.
No, she said that's a couple of times. She said when we were really having big problems, she said, and you think you're so cool and so good with girls. You're the guy from the Partridge Family. You're just a dare. Somebody says to their girlfriend, go hit on the Partridge Kid. It'll be funny. She said you're a sorority prank.
I said to him,
yikes. But the first thing I thought was, dude, that was awesome.
No, that was so mean.
That's the meanest thing I ever heard.
That is
rocks.
great. It's so mean.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, no, you know what it is, and we've talked about this. It's someday they'll put you out to pasture and nobody will care about you.
That was so good.
Remember when FP said that to me? And
it was
nobody will. And he looked me right in the eyes and he had his finger on my chest, and nobody will care about you.
Wow.
But you say that and then add 10 to it.
Yeah,
you're right.
Not just one
good line,
you
right?
Put on 12.
Oh, you should have heard me last night. I'm like, you're the worst I've ever had sexually.
You know
you're
what
the
the
worst
difference
in
is?
bed. I told you were great, but I was lying.
I think there's some fear of the truth is what makes it different. That somewhere inside you, you're afraid that someday they'll put you out to pasture and no one will care about you.
Oh, well, no, that's like in an hour.
Right. See, like I absolutely believe I'm a sorority prank and I still get some. Okay.
No, I don't know. And now there's nothing.
You do that all the time.
It's not
Sometimes people will take more from you. Like when you threw the bottle of water at our boss's head.
Well, he deserved it.
Fine. But I thought, there's the point.
I wish it was glass.
I thought to myself.
Kidding. I was kidding.
I thought to myself, well, there's the point of no return. And actually it wasn't. People just thought, wow, he shouldn't have said whatever he said. She shouldn't have thrown the bottle, but everything was smoothed over. Why do you think you can't smooth this one over?
I said bad.
I'm just trying to help.
But the good news is Jason will be in Las Vegas tomorrow night, and we've never had an incident, so that's good.
No, that'll be fine. I think that'll go well.
Other than he's a little too quick on the draw.
Oh.
Right, that's right. He's real quick.
Yeah, but he's grown up. That was 7 years ago.
You know what? I was just saying off the air that I think this will be interesting tomorrow night in Vegas because it'll start off really fun as a party, and then drinking will happen, and what... I got about 9:30 when you just start to cry hysterically.
No, because Jason will be there. I won't cry.
No?
No, because he'll be there, and I'll be like, okay, everything's still good. Except for he separated like 5 ribs. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he's very good at that motorcycle riding.
I think being in constant pain might actually slow him down.
98.7.
Point of no return. The average American woman has kissed 79 men before she's married.
Tramp.
79 men. Woo! I still got some to go, I think.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
You know, I don't know why I'm getting this reputation because I'll tell you something. Stench just said, and this is a quote. I wrote it down. I hate women. And I just looked at him. I'm like, well, you're a Dan. And he said, no, they are all monumental pains in the asses.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, wow, you have no idea what a pain in the ass you guys are and how your stubbornness and how you, yesterday or day before, we even talked about, you guys have the knowledge to say the right things.
Right.
And sometimes you just don't because it's fun to watch us explode.
Right. But, you know, when he says women are a monumental pain in the ass,
yes.
What you do is any person's last statement, I think this is what you do. Any person's last statement is their whole life. I happen to agree that women, and even my wife, monumental pain in the ass. but all her great qualities outweigh that. So I don't think she's a monumental pain in the ass as much as I think she's wonderful. But she's also got red hair. That doesn't, well, no, she probably doesn't really. I have no idea what that woman's real hair color is. But that doesn't define her.
Well, I know, but the fact that you can stand there and feel okay about that sentence, that statement, and I'm thinking, you have no idea what women think about men because it's just frustrating. It is just frustrating. That's all.
Well, you know what?
I can't do it anymore.
Me and the Pips spend more time with you than any other woman, so you define women for us, so we hate them.
No, for example, here's a prime thing, and it's funny because I never realized how you can also control a guy and have him so on his toes. Jack was just telling me a story about how he went to the grocery store and his wife said, "Why don't you write these things down that I need?" And he's like, "I can remember." And then he forgot the
lubricated tissues.
Yeah, the lubricated tissues.
Wow.
And he drove off and then he remembered, and this is what he said. "Oh my God, I was so happy I remembered the lubricated tissues and turned around because otherwise she would have got to say, 'You see, I told you to write it down.'" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's what your life is now? You're so happy?"
Yes, because
Yeah.
near miss.
But if you had a near miss.
He can answer the frequently asked question around here, got lube? In the affirmative.
No, but the thing is that if you would have written it down, sometimes women do know more than you.
Right.
It would have been easy for you to write it down. You wouldn't have forgotten. Then you had to turn around, and then you had to go whoosh, near miss.
But it wasn't a miss.
I saved my ass.
Right. It's like
Rain.
almost being late. Almost being late usually implies being exactly on time.
But the near miss could have been avoided.
Right.
It's semantics again. The near miss could have been avoided if you would have written it down and listened to her advice or
But
voice.
you're absolutely right. But the end result would have been, if he wrote it down, what would have happened? He would have brought home lube, and he did.
It's Kleenex lube. It's lubricated Kleenex.
Whatever. It's in his house.
Or you're just fixated on lube, like they're going to have sex or something. She's going to blow her nose and not get like it all dried out.
Wow, that's sexy.
Here is Donna. Hi, Donna.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
This doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about.
That's okay.
But it's Danny. Danny, you are adorable. And let me just tell you that I'm so disappointed, and not because you're the Partridge Kid, because when you were the Partridge Kid, you were kind of chubby and you had red hair and all that. But you're so
I'm sure this is going well.
Yeah, this will get better.
And my daughter loves you, too, so you're multi-generational. But I was calling to say that I was so disappointed because the 2 nights before Valentine's Day, my girlfriend and I were going to go and meet you at what we thought was another store in Hollywood. We were supposed to go to the Hustler, right?
Right.
But we go to the seedy other store that's like right down.
Oh.
You went to like Jake's porn shop?
Wait. And we're school teachers, and we teach there in Hollywood. So we were like trying to sneak in and go, oh my God, what if somebody sees us in here? We walk in, it's so seedy. People are coming up to us all over the place. Hey,
the treasure chest or whatever. That's something pleasure chest.
Well, they said I wasn't supposed to say the name of it, but no, that's not it. And so we go in, and obviously nobody's there except sleazies, and nobody else.
Much like the Hustler store when we were there.
What?
Jack and Stench and I were fairly sleazy while we were there.
Well, I'm sure, but these guys were sitting outside of the dressing room, and it's like, where's Danny? No camera, no Danny, no whatever, no nothing. And so we were so disappointed, but I just was calling to say.
You'll probably see him there later.
Yeah. I'll be the guy with all the quarters.
They won't let you go in those places as a couple in the little booths.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I don't know why. The booths that you watch the porns in? Well, you probably don't.
No,
but,
I don't.
Well, there's these little booths, and I always, in Phoenix, like, we do it as a joke. Like, there'd be 10 of us going to smash into a booth, and people would be pissed off because they're really trying to, yeah. And so they won't let you go in there as a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
Because they think you're going to do the naughty thing?
guess.
Of course you're going to do the naughty thing.
No, you're not when you go in there. Yucky.
Are you supposed to be trying things on or what?
We're talking about two different kinds of places. Okay, you're talking about a nasty lingerie shop, and we're talking about put corners in a slot to see what the dog might do.
Ew.
Oh, my
I never saw the
goodness.
dog one.
Oh,
my goodness.
Have you been to the ones with multiple channels? I'm talking about New York City and maybe the early 90s.
I was in one in Phoenix.
Oh, it's got like 25 channels, and you go in and there's normal people doing relatively normal stuff, and you start hitting the channel, and then not right things happen.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, Donna, hold on the line. Well, Danny, if you don't mind, could you sign something to her or something?
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry, I missed
that'd
you.
be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay, hold on, Donna.
I love you guys. Bye.
Love you.
Okay, hold on.
That got better.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't start off going all that well.
Also, speaking of the differences between men and women, Jack told me, and here I say this is Jack's fault, but I'm feeling very evil today.
Yeah.
Today is an exception. Jack said that his wife took the sick thing to a way wrong level, but he said it better than that. He said, "Oh my God, my wife, she started out fine. She wanted a glass of water. I got her a glass of water. Then she wanted some Vicks Vapor Rub. I got her Vicks Vapor Rub. Okay. Then she wanted the lube Kleenex that Danny's so attracted to.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like a huge time saver to have it already on a Kleenex.
But here's what Jack did. Here's what Jack did. He said, "Can I get you anything? What do you need?" You had an open-ended statement. So when you asked her, "Hey, what do you need? What do you want?" You're going to take advantage of it.
He meant then.
Well, so she said, "I want a salad and baked potato from Sizzler."
Right, and then that's what he delivered. But then when he got back, she wanted something new, and it's a whole new game.
No, but Sizzler doesn't deliver.
Right, so he went and got it.
Right, but no. Sizzler doesn't have a good to-go department.
Right.
It's not easy to go to Sizzler, and all she wanted was a salad and baked potato that I could have got anywhere easier.
But she wanted a Sizzler thing, and you asked her, "What do you want? Can I get anything for you? What sounds good?" You asked her, "What sounds good to eat?"
Right.
And she said, in her defense, Jack, she said, "A Sizzler salad and baked potato." Then Jack starts telling her all the difficulties it is to get a Sizzler baked potato and salad.
Right.
And she's thinking, "You asked me what sounds good. I'm telling you."
We have all agreed that she hates him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But Jack, it wasn't your right to start telling her what a pain in the ass it was when you asked her what she wanted.
Right, but she could have made it a little easier by picking some place that I could call up and go pick it up.
You said what sounded good, and she said Sizzler salad and baked potato.
Right, she's a lunatic. Baked potatoes and salads are the same everywhere.
That is not true. Have you ever had a loaded baked potato from Houston's?
She didn't. She wanted a plain baked potato, just so you know. It didn't matter the toppings, and a salad with no dressing.
He could have thrown the spud in the microwave, and she should shut up.
She got it from Bob's Big Boy and liked it.
Wow, where'd your cojones go?
Wow, you're going to have this tater from Bob's, and you're going to like it.
Call Jamie and Danny now.